because of the stuff that I do with Josh Dubin, who used to be an ambassador for the Innocence Project, and then he went off to. He's released dozens of these people, and the stories are horrible. Well, you're crying. I
might have heard one you had on here.
I've had a few.
It's a guy with a little girl, and it was DNA reversed it. Maybe it was on here.
Yes, there's been a bunch of them.
They're like, we saw you with her the last time. That was all it took.
Yeah.
And then they found he couldn't afford DNA testing or something.
Well, there's one guy who was an immigrant who walked into a trailer after this woman had murdered someone, and his footprints got everywhere, and they blamed him, and he was in jail for 20 years. Like that kind of shit.
Why is he walking around?
Well, it's like, what the fuck's going on? Like, imagine
he's checking up on it.
Check in on people, and you open the door, and someone's been knifed to death. And you're like, holy shit. And you're just realizing you're trying to turn the lights on. Like, what the fuck's going on? And he's an illegal immigrant. He's from another country.
Yeah, so he tried to hide.
And then the woman blames it on him, and it's just crazy.
Oh, it fucking sucks.
And it's such a flawed system. And the thing is, like, there's an incentive for a prosecutor once they're starting to try a case. They want to win that fucking case. They got a record. They have a reputation. And so they're trying to win. And when it's like a government prosecutor or, like a district attorney, and they know there's some information that would exonerate that person, they're just like, they don't give a fuck.
That seems like a problem, making it like competitive for lawyers.
It's very bad.
To be like, I want to win, or like DAs that are like, I arrested the most people.
Exactly.
It's like, yeah.
Right. Then they run for office, and it's like, remember that? And they're like,
I was tough on crime, and then all of a sudden, 10 years later, being tough on crime is racist. You're like, I wasn't tough on crime. Now I'm the vice president.
Yeah, man.
I didn't call them super criminals.
Super predators.
Super predators is nuts.
That's crazy. That's crazy. He's getting jammed up on like manila folders when he was like kissing 12-year-old girls on camera.
I don't know
Joe Biden.
jack. I don't know jack shit about politics, but if I had to guess, they're trying to get rid of him.
Yeah.
My guess would be they're trying to get rid of him. If all of a sudden his own aides are sending these, instead of like taking these classified documents which you have located and go, well, let's not do that again, and fucking locking them up somewhere. His own aides
self-reporting.
Dude.
Come on.
That sounds sus. Well, no one self-reported that fucking laptop.
I know.
That
was Russian disinformation. That reeks of Russian disinformation.
They got a hold of the social media companies and lied to them. They did whatever the fuck they could to keep that from happening. And even this, they discovered this before the midterms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they didn't release the information until after the midterms.
I mean, dude, everyone said this a million times, but like the news, if that was flip-flopped, if it was, Trump's kid, that would have been all over. It would have been like, this is the fate of our democracy, rest in the sons of the blah, blah, blah,
100%.
blah, blah.
And the media
blah.
would have gone right along with it.
Yeah, and it's like so obvious, and it sounds trite, but it's like, dude, why do what's the incentive to be like, nah, fuck that guy, not that guy? It's like, that kind of freaks me out.
Dude, there's a bunch of us that are just unrepresented. It's the reasonable middle. The reasonable middle of the world. Unrepresented. You got radical left and radical right. You got people that are all in on the Republican Party, and you should never get an abortion, even if you've been raped. You got wild shit on that side, and on the other side, you got men can get pregnant. You got all this chaos. You got FTX. So he was just making mistakes. No big deal. We should barely even attack him. We don't even need to bring him in. Come on, guys.
Yeah, why would they let that guy off the hook?
The number 2 donor to the Democratic Party.
Oh, duh.
Number 2.
Yikes.
Just behind George Soros. And they're like, whatever. No one's freaking out.